Good morning, America. This is Scott in a Shot, Scott the Great, and my wife is sleeping right now, so I'm gonna do a shot early in the morning. If she finds out, I'll be in trouble. So I'm talking real quiet right this second. I'm taking a shot and do my thing. Yeah, I normally drink in the morning, people, but I'm sneaking one this morning because my kids are coming over today. They're all six grandkids, and they'll be here in a couple hours, and I'm gonna catch a little buzz before they get here because it's when you got three of your kids here and six grandkids at your house. I mean, it's stressful, and I don't like drinking in front of them. So here we go. All right then. Let's talk about China and TikTok a little bit. Is China one of our adversaries or aren't they? You know, they got they've been talking about these police stations they have in this country. These Chinese police stations that they have they're not supposed to be there, but they're there, and I guess they're trying to collect people that have come over to this country from China that badmouth them over there or badmouth them when they got here about what's going on over there. It's kind of like this thing on the border, people. I'm going to give you a comparison here. Everybody wants to blame China for the fentanyl coming over that border. Yeah, China may be making the precursors for it and sending them over to Mexico, and then the cartels are smuggling them into our country, but our country's allowing it. They know that 100,000 people plus a year are dying from fentanyl. They know where it's being made. They know where it's getting sent to, but why aren't we closing our border? I mean, so ultimately, for the last 4 years, about the last 5, 6 years, fentanyl has been coming on since they started cracking down on pain meds, like I talked on one of my other podcasts. So they know that all the fentanyl is coming over that border. All the cocaine comes over that border. All the methamphetamines comes over that border. I mean, so whose fault is it really that our kids and our family members and our society is is just infiltrated with drugs? It's our government's fault. It's our government's fault, people. I mean, these kind of activities go on all around the world. And the only thing that makes it different is, does the government allow it or don't they allow it? So I'm going to give China a break today because you know, every country has covert things going on that they don't want to tell you about, and they're aimed towards other countries and nations to try to get it one up on them, to try to figure out what they're doing, see what's going on, see if there's anything, see if we can find out anything that's notorious that we need to find out before it happens. I mean, but here's what's up. Our government is allowing that fentanyl to come over the border. I mean, they're allowing the coke, the crank, and everything else. The crank is meth. Everything else that's coming over that border, I mean, it's being allowed. The human trafficking, the child trafficking. Our government, plain and simple, people, has allowed it. You know why? It's like with TikTok. Everybody's like, well, the the TikTok over in China doesn't have all these people on there shaming people and being stupid and doing all these stupid little these dares that people do. Eating cinnamon and all these things that are dangerous to their health. The reason why it's not happening in China is because those people over there aren't crazy like we are here. You know, kids over in China aren't allowed to behave in a manner that is unbecoming of a child, honestly, and they're made to show respect. When I say made to show respect, I mean it means to your parents and to your country. And regardless of what country you come from, people, that's important for any country. For the child to respect their parents, to respect the government, to respect the laws of the land. Well, China, they crack down on that shit. They're not playing around. I mean, so it's not China that's allowing that kind of behavior to happen in this country. It's American citizens that are doing the behavior. Our children, adults. So TikTok is really not the problem. The platform itself. When it comes to gathering information on people, my God, every company and every business in this country is gathering information on people. If China wants to get information on people, I'm sure they can find some way under the table to buy it off one of these companies because they're all tracking our shopping. They're all tracking our views on TV. They're all tracking our phone calls. Everybody's tracking everything. So that's a mute point. I mean, so my point is TikTok, I don't think is actually the problem. It's the behavior of the American people. If you don't, if you don't want to go on TikTok and watch a bunch of kids being stupid, then raise your kid not to be stupid and not to act stupid. And that kid has to have some self responsibility also on being stupid. It's like, when I was a kid, it was called a sissy burn. where people take their pencil or their eraser and they sit there and they go on their skin until they got a big old design or a scab on their hand. It was called a sissy burn. And if you didn't do that, you're a sissy. So it went from that to drinking stupid shit. I mean, it metastasized into what we see now on TikTok. So you see the same kind of behavior on YouTube. You see the same kind of behavior on a lot of things in America because America's weird. We went and got weird, and we let our kids get weird. We got them believing in transgenderism and crazy stuff. I mean, not listening to your parents, go behind your parents' back. I mean, the reason why that doesn't happen in China because China doesn't allow it. You know what I'm saying? It's the only difference. It's either being allowed or not allowed. I mean, their government's strong like ours. They're a major power. The reason why you go on TikTok and in China they're showing their test results of their kids. They're a part of their showing their kid got into this. It scored this high on a spelling bee or something. But when you get to America, they're all sitting there going, "Hey man, can you sniff this and not cough? I mean, can you stick this in your body and not?" I mean, it's the behavior of our own children and the adults of this country that make TikTok a bad thing. My brother and his wife, they use TikTok all the time, and they like it. And my brother is him and Anna, my brother's wife. They're like the quintessential American. I mean, they are 100% patriots, and but they like that platform, and we can't be held responsible. I mean, China can't be held responsible for the behavior of people in this country. And when they do that behavior and then they upload it on a video, I mean, how's that China's fault? It's the reason why it's not happening in China because the kids and the adults over in China are not allowed to act in such a stupid way. I get it, the altar of freedom, but freedom doesn't mean you should be a kid and go on TV and snort a bunch of cinnamon to see if you can keep it down. I mean, it's dangerous. Let's drink some gasoline, you know what I mean, to see if it kills me. I mean, you got to have some common sense, people. Even kids have to have common sense. You have to teach your kids that, to think things out and to realize that is it stupid? Is it asinine? Is it ignorant? What you're trying to do, and then put it on a video and show the whole world how dumb you are. I mean, TikTok is not China's fault. And when it comes to gathering data and information on people for their shopping and how they live, every goddamn fucking business in this country is doing that. I have a Samsung TV. It's brand new, and every time I go to take a nap or something, I get my TV's off. And so I finally stopped taking a nap, and I realized that after you leave it on a station for a while, a thing pops up and goes, "Are you still watching?" And if you don't say yes, it turns your fucking shit off. Isn't that home invasion really? What I mean, if I want to turn my TV on and leave it on all day long just for the sound of it, I should be able to. I shouldn't have to go to sleep and then wake up and they turned off my program because I didn't hit a button. And when they asked me, "Am I still watching?" Well, if I'm still watching, that's none of your business. That's none of your business. So my point is that China's getting a bum rap on that, and I don't even like China, but you got to call it how it is, people. I mean, our own government is fucking with us, man. They're fucking with us. They're allowing all this stuff to happen, and it's not China's fault for the behavior of the American citizen. It's not China's fault because Americans are drug addicts. It's the drug addicts' fault. It's our government's fault for allowing it to come over here, and then they expect us not to do it. That's the craziest thing, people. Our government allows these drugs to come in, but if you get caught doing a lot of them, you get in trouble. Well, why are they here then? You're not going to find these drugs. If you went to China right now and you tried to find even marijuana, it's probably going to be pretty difficult to find because that is a prison sentence up there. You get caught with a little bit of bud and you're going to jail. Period. You're going to jail. So that's what I'm saying, people. It's not China's fault for the behavior, for our behavior. Now, he's gotten a shot. Let me get to one more shot, people. All right, I feel good. So so our government likes to point a lot of fingers at everybody, us, Donald Trump, other countries, but these other countries aren't responsible for the drugs that our citizens are getting addicted to, and the behavior of our citizens or our children. That's on us. So if you don't want it to happen no more, if you don't like going on TikTok, seeing all these crazy little tests these kids do, and don't like some of the things that are on there, then raise your kids different. Raise them to act more appropriate, and not to be stupid, and have some common sense, and yourself to act in the same demeanor. So I mean, so China, let's nail China for what on things that we need to nail them for, but let's not nitpick on things that our own government's doing to us also. You know, our government, Amazon, Facebook, all of them are doing, they're all collecting our data, buying our data, and learning everything about us. You know, if a Chinese person if a Chinese government official wanted to find out information on us, our shopping and all that, all they got to do, if they're a rich enough country, they can just buy some stock in a company to where they're a main stockholder, and they'll get that information because they're a stockholder. You know, they're buying property next to the military bases. I mean, they're doing, so it's not like there's not other opportunities to get this information without, if TikTok wasn't there. There is. So let's get off TikTok a little bit and realize that the things that are going on in this country TikTok is not the devil. TikTok is not to blame for the behavior of an American citizen. You know what I'm saying? So that's what it's about. It's about your actions, your behavior. I mean, so it's directly on our government to stop that kind of stuff. To you know, just because we live in a free society doesn't mean you should be able to do anything, say anything, or do anything under the disguise of freedom. I mean, if somebody's promoting something stupid on the internet that's getting kids to try some kind of stupid test, challenge. If that challenge is dangerous and it can kill you, then our government should take it off TikTok. You know what I'm saying? Or demand them to take it off and leave it off. But but we live in a free society. People are supposed to be able to upload their stuff and see things and do things, and you can't have freedom without having some problems with the people. So I mean, but we need to learn where that line is and try to not be corrupt on that line of what we can do, what we shouldn't do, and realize that it comes down to personal fucking responsibility. Even kids have personal responsibility, people. I mean, just like Joe Biden's kid had personal responsibility when he did all that corrupt shit for his dad, and then he's whining because he's getting in trouble for it. Well, you had a choice to do it or not do it. That was your choice. So that's my point. Let's try. You know, obviously, unless we go to war with China, we have to get along with them. So let's try to get along with China, and if we can, and let's stop nitpicking about TikTok. There's way bigger issues to worry about in this country than TikTok, and that those issues are real. It's called, personal responsibility of behaving in a manner that's respectable. You know what I mean? That's respectable. And stupid is as stupid does. If somebody does something stupid, somebody films it, puts it on TikTok. How's that China's fault? I mean, it's not. They're not the one causing this behavior that we've been doing now for a long, long time. You know, we're such a free country that, and when you get the wrong government in, like the Democratic Party, and they allow this freedom to get to a level of ignorance, and that's what we're trying to combat. Our own country being ignorant and doing things that are stupid, and then trying to blame everybody else for it. Scott and the shot, I'm doing another one. I feel good this morning. This will be my last one. Like I said, my family's coming over later, and even though I love my kids, I love my grandkids, when they're all here at once, it's very stressful. So I usually catch a buzz and sit back, just go right on, right on, right on. Because I don't like doing it in front of my grandkids. So, and I don't. All right, then. So, what am I talking about today? I'm just talking, China, about a TikTok, about a bunch of things. These drones that are flying overhead. If anybody actually thinks that those drones are from China, now maybe they are. But our government is involved in it, people. Come on. There's no way they're, about 2 years ago here in Gridley, California, me and my wife went to the Dollar General. It was in the summertime. It was a beautiful night, 85 degrees out. And we pull into the parking lot of the Dollar General, and there's all these people standing outside, and they're looking up in the air, and they're pointing. So me and my wife, we finally notice what they're doing, and we look up in the sky, and there's like 6 or 7 dots in the sky that are very visible. They look like they were probably about 500-600 feet off the ground, 700 feet. And they're flying in unison, right behind each other. And then all of a sudden they went poof, and they all went in a different direction, and they were gone in a matter of a couple seconds. So I mean, this kind of stuff's been going on for a long time in this country, and I'm like Donald Trump. I'm in the same thought mind as Donald Trump. There's no way our government doesn't know what's going on here, no matter what they say. Whether it's China us or somebody else, they know what's going on. I mean, my God, they know we got satellites. They can zoom down and see whatever they want to see. They can follow whatever they want to follow. So let's all calm down about these drones. The little problem I have with these drones, with this drone stuff that's going on right now is there's all kinds of military bases out there that where they test things, and it's kind of like in Washington. They have a military base way out in the middle of out in the middle of nowhere, and it's where they jets fly in and they do their training. And unless you're driving on a back road out in the middle of nowhere, you never see them because they don't want you to see them. That's why the base was put out there in the middle of nowhere, so you wouldn't see it. So our government knows what's going on, and they know you're seeing it, but once again, they lie to us on everything. I don't think our government should be doing that because it's causing, people to panic. People are panicking about these drones. And for our government to come on there and say there's nothing to see, well, then tell us why there's nothing to see. If there's nothing to see, if there's no big deal there, then tell us, because people back east are freaking out. Now, that night, me and my wife saw those, whatever that was in the sky. It had to have been drones. It wasn't aliens. I mean, so, we just chalked it off as that's crazy, It's not crazy, just something that you're not used to seeing, I mean? You're just not used to seeing it, I mean? So you think that's crazy, but it's probably no big deal, But, and if China is over here running around with like they have these police stations everywhere that are illegal, you can't tell me our government doesn't know these police stations that are out here that these Chinese bring over here that they find, like the one they found over by San Francisco and all that. You can't tell me they don't know about them. There's no way they don't know about them. I mean, there's just no way. So they allow it. So our government's got things going on with China that's behind the scenes, and until they get caught, it's a collaboration of the two, us and China, and they're allowing it for whatever reason. I mean, I'm not going to try to decipher whatever that reason that is, but maybe we're not supposed to know, what I mean? But at best, if you're going to be stupid and you're going to cause discourse by, and have people panicking over things they're seeing in the sky, at best, at least our government can do is fill us in on it. That's the problem I have with the Democratic Party, not just the Democratic Party. I'm talking about our government as a whole. Donald Trump is different than other presidents. He's different than other people that have ran for president. He's a self-made billionaire, and because of that, he wants us to see a lot of things that if the president wasn't somebody like him, if they're just a career politician, you wouldn't get to see. And they lie a lot. So that's the difference between Donald Trump and a career politician. Is a career politician, all they know how to do is lie. Think about that. Schumer lies. Pelosi lies. Schiff lies. You know why they all lie? Because they've been in office for so long. They're just so corrupt on everything that they have to lie. They have to lie because everything they've done is so corrupt because they're career politicians. You know what I mean? That's why we have to have term limits, people, because when you have career politicians and the numbers that we have them in, then everything they say has to be a lie because they're that corrupt. Because their career is based on making money and screwing us. That's why I love Donald Trump, people. I mean, he's an outsider. The swamp is real. The swamp is real. The swamp is real, people. And it took Donald Trump to come out and bring it into the limelight. Now, I've always known our government's corrupt. All governments are a little corrupt. They have to be to get things done. But Donald Trump shined a light on the swamp of the United States. It's not over in the bayou, people. It's in Washington, D.C. I mean, Washington, D.C. is truly the swamp of all swamps, man. I mean, our own government is so damn corrupt, not towards against its own people. They've gotten so many career politicians in there that they can't say one thing to us that is truthful anymore. And now people are actually starting to see it now because Donald Trump brought it out into the light. Everybody would like to think that their country's not that corrupt, but they are. All countries are corrupt, people, to an extent. Now, some of those reasons for corruptions are honorable. Most aren't. You know what I mean? Sometimes you need a little corruption to get something done, but the reason for it is because somebody's trying to stifle something that's honorable, that needs to be done. But that's what's really going on, people. So all these things that are happening in this country, the fentanyl, the cartels, the child trafficking, it's kind of like smoking cigarettes. How many years in my life, how many decades did I hear that smoking was bad for you? Then they started cracking down on menthol, started cracking down on cigarettes, all to allow the vape to be invented. Vaping is worse than smoking, people. I've done both. I used to smoke cigarettes for about 15 years, 20 years. Started at that age of 25. I started smoking cigarettes at age 25 because I wanted to stop partying so much. And I was getting into my work. So I started smoking, and it made me not want to, I actually like to do meth every now and then, go out and party at night, dance with the ladies. But then it got to where, I wanted to advance my career, and you can't do that, when you're spun out all the time. So I started smoking. So I replaced partying with party material to legal things like smoking cigarettes. Smoking cigarettes is killing me, people. I have 2 lungs in my nodule right now. My right, I have two level 3 benign tumor nodules in my right lung. So now I got to get a CT every 6 months because they will. Since I was a smoker for so many years, I smoked pot my whole life. They will become cancers. But God, what's the point I was trying to make? Yeah, that's why I shouldn't drink when I'm doing my podcast. But I mean, but that's what's. I mean, so they replaced vaping with smoking, and vaping is worse than smoking. You know what vaping does to your lungs, people? You got these little phalanges, these little hairs that are in your lungs. And what those hairs do is they sit there going ooh in your lungs, and what they do is they catch oxygen. That is what fills your body with oxygen. When you vape, here's what's up. When you smoke cigarettes, those little phalanges, whatever those I don't know what they call them, but they get coated with oil, which is with THC oil or nicotine oil. But vaping makes those little phalanges that are sitting there floating around catching oxygen, it makes them swell up, and and instead of going like this, they all get swelled up and they stop. They go ugh. So you have it constricts your breathing way sooner than smoking weed, smoking cigarettes. Vaping is so horrible, people, and they don't even know what the long term effects are going to be from sitting there smoking something that has an element in it. Do you know what an element is, people? An element is something that creates heat. I mean, like in your hot water tank, that element creates heat and it sends off a vapor. Now, even though it's heating up the oil that they put in that vape, there's still a what do they call it? A discharge of something from that element heating up, some kind of fume or something from the actual element. It's very bad for you, people. I mean, about a year ago, I went out to wash my car and I just started vaping with my wife. She's trying to get off. She got off cigarettes, and just prior to that, I smoked cigarettes. Well, I started vaping. And I went outside to wash my car. I'm washing my car. I'm drying. Next thing I know, I'm sitting on the steps. Going, that's what's up, people. That's the technology. That it's bad technology, but that's what's up with our government. They just go from one bad thing to another. I mean, they allow they all those years they sat there smacking on smoking to just allow another smoking thing come in that's even worse. That's how fucked up our government is, people. Are they trying to do population control? I don't know. But I mean, they want us to fucking be fucked up. They want us dying for some whatever reason. I mean, that's my opinion. So it's up to us to be smart enough not to do these things. Let's stop doing the things that kill us, and let's see what our government can come up with to do what they're doing without killing us. Let's see what happens when they realize people aren't going to die from them thinking that we're stupid. You know what I'm saying? That's all I'm trying to say on that. But I mean, so Merry Christmas, everybody. I'm having a good time. My kids, my grandkids are all coming over today. I mean, I love my grandkids. I love my kids. All I'm trying to say is Merry Christmas, I guess, and let's not stress too much over Christmas. Let's all put aside all these things for for a couple weeks. Let's all start enjoying our Christmas, and the holiday spirit with the holiday spirit. Let's call Christmas Christmas. Let's call Thanksgiving Thanksgiving, and remember that there is a God and He loves us all. I love you guys all. Even though I come on this podcast and I talk the way I talk, it's because I'm trying to make a point. I'm trying to open eyes to people. It doesn't mean I have hate for you. I don't want anything bad to happen to anybody. I don't want to die. Nobody wants to die. Nobody wants to be hated. Nobody wants to be unloved. So we all have to come together, and let's come together over this holiday and calm down a little bit. Let's calm down. And for the Democratic Party and the Democratic voter, that just can't get over this election. What I got to say to you is grow up and be happy and have your beliefs, but don't be extreme about it. Let's stop the extremism, and let's stop. At least we can do is try to stop making everything like it's the end of the world. You know, nobody's influenced. Nobody's doing anything wrong, and to us, we're doing it to ourselves. You know, when it ultimately comes down, people, everything I've ever done that I've done that I don't like, I can't blame my parents. I can't blame my wife. I can't blame my kids. I can't blame society. I did it on myself. Remember that. It's called self responsibility, people. And if you can't accept that, then I'll pray for you, because everybody has to realize that you are responsible for the things you say, the things you do, the things that you advocate for, the things that you advocate against. I mean, but let's stop advocating for things that we're supposed. As a whole, if people are advocating their weirdness on the rest of us. Be weird, be happy and weird. Just don't try to push it on me, and I'll try my hardest not to push my beliefs on you. But we have to talk about things, and we have to talk about them in a mature manner to where we can all try to figure it out. We're never going to figure out everything, people, if all we ever have are these podcasts and people pointing fingers. We have to talk. We have This show is about me pointing out things and trying to get us to come together to communicate in a manner to where we can solve issues. Solve issues, not for so much for now, but let's leave this planet a better place for the next generation and the next and the next and the next and the next. Remember, people, I believe in reincarnation. I believe we were all reincarnated through our kids with different memories, a different life, but that is you and your spouse cruise and those two different families and all the other families of all the other spouses. That is all you guys traveling through time until it's all over with. And remember, this part of life is just one layer of life. We have souls. God gave us a soul, and don't be afraid of dying. Don't try to die, but don't be afraid of dead people, because it's just the next. It's just the next phase of life. Our souls will go somewhere else, and we will be judged, and we will go to the according place. I mean, but that's how I feel about it. Everybody wants to blame God for everything. Everybody wants to blame God for everything. You know what? God made us free people. Governments made us slaves. God made us all free. If God came down here every time you did something wrong and you're asking for forgiveness, if God came down here and tried to fix everything that everybody's doing bad, then it's not really freedom, is it? God put love in us, hate in us, empathy in us. He put hate. He put guilt. He put all these things he put in us in our personality. And it's up to you to find the right way. It's up for you to choose one of those characteristics that God put in all of us. Remember that. So, life is a lot simpler than you think, people, if you make the right choices and you live the right life. So, Merry Christmas again. Happy New Year. I love all Americans. I hope we all figure it out together. And that's how I feel about it. So, this is Scott in a Shot, and I'm out of here.